7:01, shall we rise and pledge to the flag of the meeting order? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Roll call, Mark Foltz.
Here.
Mark Frazier.
Here.
Francis Griffith.
Here.
Rebecca Howard here. Jordan Carmelet. Absent for the moment being.
Agenda should be before you. Any changes, additions, modifications?
What's this culvert letter here? Is that something we gotta put in there or not?
Culvert letter.
Something about a culvert agreement with the road commission.
Oh, I put that in there. That, we can talk about that. Yeah,
Motion to
okay. Accept.
accept the agendas.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Butch, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we should have our April 1st minutes, meeting minutes. In your packet. April Fool's Day, remember that day? Okay.
I make a motion that we support the agenda.
Second.
Minutes, okay. Okay, Rich. Seconded by Mark Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We've got a couple public comment sessions, one public comment session right now. Any public comments? Going once, going twice? Okay. Our assessor is here, Makata Sweet, and she wants to just give us a year report from last year and part of this year and how things are going. And welcome back to your southern area back here.
Yes, I have this is just copies of where I'm going to be site reviewing for this year.
Okay.
Just for reference. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start in section 1 for our field review for this year. As a reminder, anybody can deny a field review. If so, we're going to need it in writing for our records, and then we want it for yours just in case you want to appeal later on with the state. That way we're all clear. So we just finished up with March Board review and did the rollover for 2027. March Board review went well. I believe that we had 13 petitions altogether. And it went smooth. John, we had your qualified ag on your parcel now, so you are all set. There really wasn't a whole lot. There was an increase in residential and in ag. I'm sure that a lot of you are seeing that across. It was across the state of Michigan, and if you own property, you might have seen that increase as well. We're hoping that this levels out soon. We're still seeing people purchase above asking price on properties. You know, inflation was only 2.7% though, so we are seeing a decrease in that over the past couple of years. I know that they hit us back to back at 5% there in 2022 and 2023. Other than that, it's been very slow in the assessor's office as of right now. I am in the office on Wednesdays from 9 until noon if anybody ever wants to stop in. I also do appointments. I can either meet you outside of office hours at your property, or here at the building we can make arrangements. So just keep that in mind in case 9 to noon on a Wednesday doesn't always work for everybody. And as always, I'm available Monday through Friday for questions, phone calls, emails. And with the field review list, anybody can request this. So like I said, I am starting in section 1, and I'll be working my way through any parcels that I'm going to be feet on the property. I will be sending a letter to, so they know they have the right to deny. But I have started with vacant parcels as well as parcels that have already pulled permits. And as a reminder for anybody that doesn't know, if you pull a permit, you are agreeing to allow any necessary inspections, including assessor's office. So that's all I really have for you guys right now, unless you guys have any questions.
And just any clarification, anyone, you have the right to deny access for a
Yes.
field review, but if you challenge your assessment in the future,
Exactly. Yes, that's
You know,
why.
you don't have a leg to stand on. Basically,
Exactly.
the state tax tribunal will dismiss your case immediately.
And that's why if you do deny, we do need it in writing, just so that way if you do appeal to the state, you know, we have our copy to say, hey, they denied, and the state can come back and they're probably not gonna be too agreeable, but I don't know, you know, the state speaks for themselves, so, but just as an FYI.
And McConnell, one of the
Yes.
highlights of our board review, the sessions we had was
Yes.
the people that came in, some of them knew each other, and they were all complaining about this couch and these things on the road over there.
Oh, yeah, they were complaining about some
And
blights and,
Remember that?
yeah.
And they all worked together, called us and got back. And actually, the road commission got rid of all that stuff. They come and took it away from us.
It was good, yeah, no,
So-
we didn't, you know, we didn't have anybody come in that was angry, you know, it was good, we had nice conversations, so I think it was very,
Pretty smooth process.
very successful, yep, and,
Okay.
so,
Any questions from a?
yes.
Well, I want to tell you, she passed her test for her level 3.
Oh, yes, I'm now
I
level
mean,
3.
This is fantastic for her, for us,
Yes.
and for the community, so.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, all right, thank you guys, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay. Thanks for coming. All right.
We didn't get one, did we, for a minute?
Not a,
No sheriff report, okay, all right, gotcha. Mark, Cecil?
Not a whole lot going on. We did restart the building committee, and was told Monday night that the 2 newest ambulances should be in about 3 weeks.
Oh.
Going to Grand Ledge and getting some stuff done, and then coming here to get signed and everything. So probably by the end of June, they should be on the road. And at that point, we'll be in pretty good shape on ambulances.
Okay. We didn't have a DDA meeting, but we've had activities in the DDA areas, businesses and permits that have been coming in, and so the last meeting we talked about K&J Repair, and he's going to have a auto parts place. You get your tractor filters or oil filters for your car, et cetera, parts right up here, right across from Joe Audia, right in the Rose Boulevard. The building's up, it's coming, construction's progressing quite well, and so looking forward, I think he said September for an opening, so maybe a little sooner, but yeah, so that's going well. And it's other parties that are interested in building construction, and the cabinet shop over here on North, construction, got the road put in, so things are happening there. So we've got other people wanting to move, wanting to plan in here and come in here, right, Troy?
Yep.
For sure. Zoning, Troy?
We got a report.
How many things have we got?
I should have had a report in your box from AGS.
On activity?
Veronica should have it, I don't know where it's at, Troy.
Okay. Anyway, AGS did send us a report. We processed 3 zoning permits last month and a special use permit. So, and then there's the zoning board of appeals is having a training session tomorrow night, and then they have their first hearing in another week.
Okay.
Oh, there they are. Oh.
Sorry. They just weren't in order.
Yep, so 3 zoning permits, and like I said, the 3 zoning permits, a land division, and a review of a land division, and a review of a variance request, and then special use permit. Yep.
And Troy and I, we're getting calls all the time, so that's a good thing. I even had a message on my phone today at 3:30 from Motor City Electric, the engineer there, Jason, wants the questions answered on things. So we're trying to help the community as best we can.
Yeah, no, we've been pretty busy.
We sure have. Okay, County Commission, I've got Cindy Garber and I talked today about 10 o'clock, and she has a guest. Cindy?
All right, so thank you for having me and your commissioner neighbor to the north. This is Lieutenant Angela Norling. She is our 911 director.
Okay.
And we will have a ballot proposal for you on the August primary. So I can let Lieutenant Norling cover that real quick if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Hello. Thanks for allowing me to, let me be here today. I just kind of want to, I'm working my way around the county over these next couple of months, just kind of introducing myself, letting everybody know what the surcharge increase is for, what we're asking for, just so that way if anybody comes to you with questions, you have information from us as well. So right now, the 911 surcharge is $2.65. We're looking to raise that monthly surcharge to $3. So it'd be a 35-cent increase per phone line, so that would include any of your monthly cell phones, landline phones, anything along that line, internet phones that we use over the internet. We do not have a millage. We receive no funding from the general fund, so this is what strictly funds our 911 service here in the county. So raising the surcharge 35 cents will give us an additional about $256,000 annually to work with. Right now, our revenue versus our expenditures is pretty, without doing any upgrades or any enhancements, our revenues have been staying pretty flat, but of course our expenditures are going up and up like everybody else's. We haven't raised our surcharge in 10 years, so it's been at this $2.65 rate for 10 years. So we're just looking to get a little bit more funding so we can keep maintaining our 911 system, keep making enhancements and improvements. We recently put up a tower in the Township area for our first responders to get better radio coverage. We want to keep doing things like that. We want to update the paging system for firefighters, getting that to a digital status versus VHF, what we're on right now. We have improvements that we have to do to our phone system that are required, and also the federal government has decided that we have to do a encryption upgrade to our radios that we purchased about 4 years ago. So that's going to be another roughly $200,000 charge to get that done. We have to have a plan in place for that by October of this year. So we don't want to go to a millage. We're hoping that this will get us some decent.
This will be a vote?
Yes, it'll go to the voters, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
So it's just a 35-cent increase. We're already paying $2.65, so it, if passed, it would make it $3 per line. It'd be an increase of $4.20, $4.20 annually per phone line. I have printed out just some basic information. And I'm going to leave extras here too, so that we have them in the office, if we have anybody that comes in.
Angie, and how do the counties in general do it? I know, I mean, I own property in Hingham County, and I know they do a, they do a millage-based thing with, and I love our phone line system. I think that's a far more fair way to do it than a millage. But how do the counties shake out? I mean, is it?
So it's kind of per county. It just depends on how they want to do it. Most counties, like all our surrounding counties, most of them are already up to the $3 mark that we're asking for. So they're already collecting in that additional funding. They also have larger populations, so that tends to bring in larger funding too. I also looked at comparables to our county, similar size. Most of them are already up to the $3 per phone line as well. So most of them are off of the surcharge. Some of them also have millages as well. Clinton County, I believe their surcharge is $1.85, but they have a millage as well that brings in an additional, I believe, a little over $2 million on top of the surcharge. So just kind of depends on what the county feels is right for them for the funding purposes. So.
I mean, I assume phone lines probably are rather static, right? I mean, as quantity, I mean,
yeah,
most of the world has a cell phone now, right? So once,
Yeah, we're kind of averaging out one phone line per person in the county. That kind of, we figure we have about 68,000 phone lines in the county, which, I mean, you consider the businesses and all that, that's probably about right. Almost everybody has a phone line. of some type or has multiple.
But people
accounts.
slowly are dropping landlines too,
Yes,
right, which
yes,
hurts.
exactly, yep. So we haven't raised it in 10 years, so our revenue's just kind of like this, and it's just not really feasible for us anymore, so.
Okay, Gene, the 911, like this last year compared to the year before, how's the volume, the amount? Are they about the same every year, or is it
Are you talking about revenue or like call taking?
call? How many calls?
Call volume is about the same, we're relatively the same, yeah,
Okay.
we take approximately 25 to 30,000 911 calls, and then we have about an additional 40 to 50,000 non-emergency
Yeah,
administration calls,
Okay.
so just.
Just wondering.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Well, it's nice to finally meet you. We've emailed a few times about address stuff and
Yeah.
stuff before, but
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for
no
coming.
problem, thank you, thanks for listening.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah, you're welcome, and if you guys, of course, always, if you have questions about anything, give me a call, email.
Okay. Anything else with the county we need to know about, or everything okay?
Yeah, progressing beautifully at Pleasant View with our addition, so we'll be looking at, a very early spring 2027. We're gonna need lots of help, so we're gonna have a help wanted sign or posting permanently, I think,
Sure,
so,
sure.
us and everybody else.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Leave
welcome.
my business card too, so that if you do come across any questions or anything, I'm sure one.
Second,
Okay,
Thank you.
Mark, the library.
They're a couple weeks behind on getting the Byron branch done. They've got new computers that have been installed, and they donated the old computers to a robotics team. And they're working on new signage in New Lothrop. And the one other thing was there's two things. The Mid-Eastern Michigan Library Cooperative, which is the group that coordinates the exchange of books and materials between libraries, is in danger of ceasing.
Oh,
And they're trying to get that straightened out, and then if that happens, they're gonna have to join another cooperative. I'm not sure where that's gonna go right now. And the summer reading program is gonna be focused on dinosaurs. Their summer reading programs are really well used, so they get a lot of traffic.
okay. Is that about it
Yep.
so far? Okay. All right. Back to our county commissioner, you just come in, everything okay there?
Yes,
Okay, okay.
we're all doing well.
Good, good, okay. Let's see, I-60 County Trade Board, no meeting, wait, no? No meeting?
No, not since our last meeting.
Okay. SCDP,
There's not a whole lot going on at SCDP. They're finishing up that study that's been done that we do every 5 years, and that's the big thing happening right now. We did have a program by Consumers Power telling us why data centers are wonderful things and how they won't affect the energy rates in the state. I'm not real sure I totally believe that, but at the land bank, the grants are in the bank for homeowner rehabilitation projects. If we have somebody that needs a furnace or needs a hot water heater, or needs a roof, or needs windows, those, and they can't afford to do it, we do have money to do that with. There is limit thresholds of income and so forth, and all that is being put together in an informative sheet and applications, and probably we've hired a project manager group to handle these, so they will probably come around to most of the meetings and hand out these forms and explain the whole project. There's also a rental program, so the money we got for the homeowner program was $1.2 million. We have 3 years to spend that, I think. And the rental program, we got $500,000. So we're hoping that if somebody knows of somebody that needs that kind of help, that we hear about it at the land bank and we can put that. But we will have, this is all getting made right now.
Okay.
And the other thing is the approval of interlocal agreement from the Brownfield Authority that has to do with the TIF agreement for that project in Morris right next to the cemetery was voted on and approved, so. And I think it's at the county commission's office today, so.
Okay. Is that it, Mark?
Yep.
Okay. Next, we got our financial report and pay the bills.
All right, you've got your bills list in front of you. Expense-wise, we had our annual BSNA support fees and stuff, so those would probably be the largest expenses on there. Income-wise, we did have delinquent taxes were settled with the county, or they reimbursed us for them finally, which was a little earlier than normal, but, and then we also had our first revenue sharing check of the fiscal year, which was $52,000, so. Other than that, are there any questions on the bills?
Pay the bills.
Mark wants to pay the bills. Okay. Butch will second that. Okay. Butch. Roll call vote when we can, Veronica.
Veronica Howard, yes, for finally?
Yes.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffin?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes.
can we now do the planning commission report?
Say again.
Can we do the planning commission report?
Oh, back up. The most important report I left out after the SEDP. Okay, let's do planning now. Planning commission. They did meet a long time, in fact.
We discussed a lot of things that have to do with, as we move forward through this, the things we're learning. We're set for June 15th meeting, I think, to get our application into the state, is that correct?
We want to get the application to the state by May 15th.
But the meeting
The
is
meeting
June.
is July 15th.
July
We have to do it
15th,
60
okay.
days in advance.
Okay.
Okay.
We
The state
did a
board of
public
construction.
hearing on special use permit for Boston Malik on Lansing Road for dry ice blasting operation. And we did a public hearing for Chris and Lisa Vaklovic on Winnegar to set their pole building a little different because of the way the
It's to build a accessory building prior to building a principal structure.
Right.
That's what it was for.
and then we accepted the resignation of Walt Saxton.
Oh, yeah.
And did approve both of those special use permits, and we got to that point in the meeting.
Okay. Everybody at Central, I think, maybe?
What's that?
What, was everybody there? Or one answer? I think everybody was there.
No, I think we were,
Lena was
Lena
gone.
was-
Lena, we had one person.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. And the next meeting is,
Whatever the third Thursday is.
Yeah, May 21st.
May something,
or May what?
Doesn't matter. It's third Thursday.
Third Thursday.
21st, May 21st.
21st, that's correct. Okay, 21st. May, okay, May Day.
And Mark, if I could say something too.
Yes,
Since,
yes.
Since one of our members has resigned because he's moved out of our township.
Say again?
Since one of our members has resigned because he's moved out of the township, we
Right.
do have a vacancy on the planning commission. So if anybody knows of anybody, we need to fill that vacancy. Have them get in touch with me.
Yeah. Basically a monthly meeting and
Monthly meeting and a lot of reading and a lot of decisions.
other things that have to come up, especially in our own zoning.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Beth.
Mhm.
Okay, down to correspondence.
Hi.
All right.
So received our monthly SCOA newsletter. We also received the CISA minutes, which we have our letter of resignation from Walt Saxton for Planning Commission, which gives us that vacancy. We had received an email from CISA for their August ballot language for
It's the
A
renewal,
millage?
the renewal of the equipment millage. Simple renewal, yeah.
Yep. And then Shiawassee County Recyclables is, they just created a new website for their recycling.
On that letter of resignation, we do have to accept that as a board, so I'll make a motion that we accept the letter of resignation from Walt Saxton from the Planning Commission.
Troy made a
Second.
motion,
Mark seconded it.
Mark seconded. Okay. Roll call vote, when you get time there, Veronica.
Sorry. Francis Griffith,
Yes.
Veronica Howard, yes. Troy Parmalee,
Yes.
Mark Foltz,
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Okay, good, Troy. Anything else?
Nope.
Public comments, second public comment session. We do have people in the audience, thank you. Okay. Unfinished business, I don't show any. Okay. New business, Morris 150th celebration, Maggie sent her mark.
Yes,
Okay.
say more.
Maggie,
Yes,
Okay.
just Maggie's totally fine.
talk to us, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm leading the planning for the 150-year celebration and homecoming event. So this will replace our typical homecoming that we were doing yearly. I believe it ended in 2020. So we have a day full of events planned on September 12th of this year. It does take place the same weekend as the St. Mary's Festival, so we are trying to drive the community participation and community events during that time. So currently, we have quite a few things planned. We will be having our new pavilion gets put in this summer, so we'll be using that for bands and or different presentations. Our building that we are currently refixing at the Morris Park, previously the Lions Park, will be updated and we'll have an archive unit in there. So if the township has anything that they would like to include, it will be manned, just to make sure everything stays put. But we'll be having pictures, jerseys, all sorts of Morris memorabilia for the community to go look at. We'll be having a petting zoo set up from 1 to 6 p.m., a touch a truck event. So again, if the township has anything that they'd like to put in that event, please let me know. We'll have yard games, bounce houses, and then in the evening, we will be doing a movie in the park. So we have ordered the materials to do a big setup screen, so a projector, and then we'll be shutting down hopefully Main Street, or we'll be doing that at the park as well. So we're kind of hoping the township will be able to participate in some way, whether it's monetarily or by participating in the events that day.
So Maggie, is it only on the 12th?
Yes.
Just the one day? And what day is that? Saturday?
Yes, it's a Saturday.
Okay. Any comments?
So anyway, we had this, she had reached out to us last fall, last winter sometime about this, and we had put in our contributions there where we used to put in, when we used to put in money for the fireworks. So we are restricted on what type of, you can't just, support any of these events, but a 150th celebration for a village within the township is one of those allowable things, so.
Okay. And we had earmarked about, what, 2,000?
Well, that's what we used to put in on the fireworks. So I'll make a motion that we participate with $2,000 for the Morris 150th celebration.
I'll second.
Any comments? Okay, Mark, second, Frazier. Veronica, roll call vote.
Veronica Howard, yes. Troy Parmalee?
Yes.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Thank you.
That'll help.
We do have, we don't have a ton of memorabilia. We do have like the original assessment roll for Perry Township, as long as it's manned and somebody's not gonna walk off with it, we could put it there from 1837, I believe, is when we were founded,
So,
That would be amazing, and if you guys know of anybody that is a big Morris history buff, or that might have more of that memorabilia, please have them reach out. I do plan to start posting on Facebook as we get closer, just because I don't want to be in charge of housing these things until the event.
Sure.
But I will absolutely make correspondence with anybody and/or plan like picking those items up prior to the event. But yes, we will have volunteers there manning it, just to make sure nothing walks off.
So is this 12th the actual 150th?
It's sometime in the month of September,
September.
so we picked the 12th.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
Just
We
asking.
picked the 12th because it was also the St. Mary's Festival, and we do want this to be a large community
Sure.
involvement. So we're
That's
thinking if we have this event and the St. Mary's event, and hopefully other events will tag on with it, we'll get more of the larger community participating, so.
Okay. And you've already got with the Village of Morris, right? And they're.
Yes, so
she's
I'm on the
she's
board.
board.
I'm on the board, so that's why I'm doing this.
I thought maybe, yeah,
So-
but they're with you. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So
Well,
we've
thank you
been-
for coming and explaining it to us.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any questions? You good? Okay.
And I'm happy to share my poorly drawn plans for the day and any other details you guys want. Yeah,
Okay. Just be in touch as we get closer.
yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Countywide tornado siren, Troy.
Right, so I think, I don't know who all got it, but I think Mark and Veronica also got it. So Trent Atkins, who's our fire chief and also the county emergency manager, had put together a meeting to talk about both communities that would like to add tornado sirens and also an upgrade to the county system. And if I veer off course, Angie, just jump in and tell me. But, so one of the issues with our present system is each tornado siren has to be activated by the municipality, and usually the fire department that it's in. It's not automated at all. So when the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning, the central dispatch tones everybody out, and someone has to then activate it, which of course takes time and all kinds of things. I know the one, for example, in Morris, somebody has to literally go push a button in the fire hall, for that one to work. The ones in Perry, they can do it from the fire station, but if they're out on a call at the time and there's no one there at 2 o'clock in the morning to do so, that's a problem.
Sure.
So there's two steps. So what Trent had tried to put together is a plan to upgrade. It requires an upgrade onto the county's 911 towers and then to the tornado sirens such that they can all be activated remotely so that central dispatch, when that comes in, can click a button or something and voila, they all come on, so it's instant when the warning is issued. The cost for that is going to be around $80,000. And the proposal as it's been laid out is that any municipality, it would be spread against the municipalities that choose to participate. And I think as of right now, there's 3 on it for sure and a bunch of maybes. I told him to put us in the maybe category until we had a chance to discuss it. So, if there's 10 municipalities, it'll, only be $8,000 apiece, et cetera, to do that. And there would be an interlocal agreement, and I don't know the details on ongoing charges or anything like that, but that's what the discussion has been about. Am I relatively on track?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, all right.
There's
So
also
this
an
is that
option for
conference
that.
email they had.
It was that conference. I knew I didn't have time to do it yesterday, but I called and talked to Trent about it,
Okay.
and so, I'm probably the only one that was here, but, almost 20 years ago when we had the bad tornado, the Williamston tornado that came into Perry Township, in 2007, we talked about this as a board quite a bit, because the only sirens, of course, are the ones in Perry and the ones in Morris.
Yeah,
And
hear it. Yeah.
right, and, we looked at all kinds of options. At the time, Jamie Pavlika was our county commissioner at the time, and we had meetings with Woodhall, and we did a lot of talking and nothing. We looked for grant opportunities, and we were either too populated of a county, ironically, for the rural ones, or, not populated enough for the ones designed for more densely populated ones, and so nothing happened of it. we then, I mean, in our southern part of our township, well, I happen to live, but a very rural area, you know, we've had 3 of these now in the last 20 years that have taken almost identical paths. I mean, if you draw a line from Williamston to Larry Places, that's where they
There you
go.
are.
And then, of course, there was the one that hit in Perry. You know, but that one 20 years ago, if it had hit in a more densely populated area, it would have been a major
Just a couple
catastrophe.
here went down Roosevelt, you know, and of course destroyed.
But that one was- that was-
Perry there,
Hit there.
Right. But the one that hit in 2007, if that had hit a densely populated area, that'd been bad. That was an F2 tornado.
That been bad.
You know, it just went through the rural area.
Well, I know that to put a siren south of town, the problem is power.
It is.
Oh.
And so, what I asked, and so anyway, the general cost for a siren is $30,000, roughly, give or take. So, I asked Trent if he could, as putting his fire chief hat on, not the emergency manager hat, if he could, you know, kind of look at it and say, you know, is this something we should look at in the township for particular our more populated areas, right? I mean, you know, there's nothing up by you, Countryside Village, which is a huge
No, but-
population area.
But a
And-
siren
And
today,
then over by the subdivisions too.
you know, a siren today is more for if you're outside.
Yeah, no, and.
Because you're not gonna hear it in the house.
Right.
We don't hear it in the house, but we hear it outside. And you add to the fact that most everybody has their cell phones
Sure.
tuned to that notification,
True.
which is really more dependable than hearing the siren.
Agreed.
If you got a storm going, sometimes you don't hear it anyway. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to put sirens in outside, but they're maybe not as relevant as they were 10 or 20 years
Well,
ago.
I thought the same thing, you know, we talked about it a little bit. So anyway, I had told him to put us on the maybe list. We aren't committed to anything, you know.
Well, I don't have a problem with us
But I,
getting on the activation list.
but on the, you know, as far as that, you know, upgrade to do the whole county, it's gonna be one of those things, if you don't do it now and you wanna come in later, you know,
It's gonna be really expensive.
well, if I were the ones going in initially, I would certainly want it to be more expensive. You know,
No,
so-
I don't have a problem with
So-
us participating in that.
And we don't know any of the details yet of that. So, you know, maybe as we get a little closer to that, we can ask him to come to one of our meetings, you know, and just kind of go over it.
Where he's at with it.
But just be thinking about that if that's something we want to participate in, both for the upgrade and or, you know, having a siren.
It doesn't sound like it's a lot of money, 80,000, to be honest with you. I mean, for.
Well, once you divide it among a bunch of
That's what I mean.
municipalities, but if you only divide it among 3,
Yeah.
which is, there's only 3 that have really agreed to it, then it probably won't happen, is what happens, so.
So are we?
So anyway.
Maybe? Is that what we
Oh,
are?
Are you guys okay if we're on the maybe list?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
It ain't gonna hurt to have the guy come and talk to us.
Yep,
Oh,
correct.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Are you a maybe too, Veronica?
I mean, but I know, Trent said they discussed this recently in the last couple of years, a couple of times, and I must not have been on the email. Like I told him, I said, this was the first one I saw, but I told him, I said, 20 years ago, we talked about it a lot, but it just, you know,
Sure.
yeah, so. Anyway, so that's that, you know, we'll see. I asked him to kind of prepare something as our chief, you know, just to see what he thinks, you know, should be good stuff.
Did he say how the meeting went, or did you talk to him before that?
He sent an email today saying it went good.
Oh, good, okay. What is this, resolution?
Oh, so you should have a packet of stuff regarding, you know, AGS type stuff and building and zoning. One of them on there starts with Perry Township, Shiawassee County, and that says Resolution 05-2026.
Yep.
So we adopted this a couple months ago, and this is where we appointed the zoning, or the Construction Board of Appeals, and then adopted the building codes as ordinances for enforcing our own the building code. This had been a cut and paste resolution, and there was one paragraph that was miscut and paste. It referenced another township in another county. So this resolution is simply to is to re-adopt this resolution to amend it. I mean,
You make it correct.
we've already adopted the ordinances, those are fine, those have been published, those were totally good. This was just to fix that, because this has to be submitted to the state along with the whole application. So I will make a,
motion, we approve that.
I'll second it.
All right, so Mark made a motion, and Troy
I'll
is
second.
Troy seconded already. Okay? And,
Yeah, we need a
Roll
roll
call.
call, it's a resolution.
Francis Griffin,
Yes.
Veronica Howard, yes, Troy Carlin,
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
okay, so that was, all right.
Okay,
Now we
so
got-
the next thing, and this was in your box, you should have a kind of, you should have 3 documents. One is an agreement between Perry Township and Associated Governmental Services. One is a building official employment agreement between Perry Township and Nick Keck. And the other one is a master agreement, just as an agreement at the top. So, these are the final documents to go with our packet that is going to go to the State Bureau of Construction codes for beginning to enforce our own building codes. So basically, when somebody's doing something, it will all be done at the local level. And we've got 90% of it done. These are the last 3 agreements, and then the plan would be for these, if the board approves it, to send them to the state in the next week, and it is scheduled to be on the state's agenda in July. But it has to be on for 2 months, but, okay.
Troy,
Yes,
I got a question on the second page,
which one, Butch?
first one you're
Oh,
on.
wait, no, no.
Okay.
Number 1, the township agrees to compensate $200 a month. Okay, Nick, as an employee
Right,
of the township.
so I'm gonna explain all this and just
Okay.
if I go through this all real quick. So, we have contracted with AGS, right, to do our zoning services, and they will be doing our building services. Same company that does the Village of Morris's. And the state requires, and it cites this in the 5th paragraph on the front page there, that there was an Attorney General opinion, and this works the same way. We've had this issue come up with assessing before too, that you have to have an individual as the building official. You can't do a company. It's like for assessing, right? You can hire a firm to assist with assessing, but you have to have an individual who is an assessor as a hired assessor. I mean, and so the building official works the same way. So what it is, Butch, if you
I see
read,
it now.
if you read in between the 2, all 3 documents tied together there, we would be appointing Nick, who's our contact at AGS, as the building official, right? And he would be sworn, and he would be a sworn official. And he would be compensated at that $200 a month. If you read in the other agreement, they credit us that $200 a month off our retainer fee. So it doesn't cost us any more, but we do have to issue him
That's the answer they
as
were
an
looking
employee.
for.
I was just, the only thing I was out of curiosity, it says, one says you can't be an employee. Now the next one says, he's gotta be an employee of the township.
Which one said he couldn't?
Well, there's some language in here about subcontractor.
Right.
In here.
Oh,
It's in the big
okay.
agreement,
In the big agreement.
Yes.
Right, but, I mean, they don't conflict each other.
Well, sort of, but not, I guess.
I guess which number are you thinking about? I read it this morning again.
Where's it at? What page? There's no page number. Is it number 10, and which one is it, guys?
It's back. Independent contractor, number 10.
Number 10. No way be deemed an employee of the township.
Right, well, AGS is not an employee of
This
the
is just the
township.
company. This is just the
It would be
company.
the agreement of building official employment between Perry Township and Nick Keck. That one would be,
That single
that
unit,
would be.
that single thing, okay.
And what happens if he's not available, he's on vacation, and somebody else from AGS?
Well, that's fine, because they're the, they're all the licensed one, but we have to have one person named.
And that's him, yes.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, that's just it's a state rule that you can't have a firm, you have to have one person who is named and sworn, and then, you know, everyone else is a deputy on that, right?
We gotta
Just like if I'm not available, you know, my deputy has all the same roles, right? And
Okay.
so that's how that works.
In looking at the permit fee schedule, pardon me if I'm jumping around then.
Okay, that is the fee schedule that they will be charging us. Now, we have voted to do we're gonna charge 20% over that,
Okay,
which we did that a couple months ago.
so
That's
this,
what
this is
AG
what they're charging us.
That's what AGS will charge us, and then we will charge the fee schedule that they charge. I mean, they will figure out the amounts on each permit, will be 20% more. That money goes into a restricted account, it's not a general fund money. The building department has to be an enterprise fund, and so that money is used to pay the inspectors, and you know, the retainer fee pays for the construction board of appeals, and we can use some of it for, you know, like the software maintenance, etc. A little bit of overhead, but not much.
Okay.
It has to be, it is not general fund dollars, so.
On the draft agreement,
Mhm,
the bottom of the first page, B,
mhm.
where we're gonna pay him obviously for ordinance enforcement, is any of that recoverable?
Well, this ordinance enforcement has to do with the building codes. We adopted an agreement back in December which covers zoning and other general code enforcement. This solely has to do with building.
Okay. But still, he's not, if we don't have a permit fee and somebody has done something that he has to go out and put a tag on, is any of that recoverable that we pay him, or are we,
Well,
is
we
that
get
just?
to charge them I mean, they have to pay the permit, right,
Okay.
to make it
Okay.
good. As far as general code enforcement, like going after junk and stuff, you know, I mean,
But if it ends up in court, I'm assuming the court can assess.
sure,
those
they
dollars.
can. I mean, zoning and general code enforcement are
Losers.
They're not money makers by any means, right? See, Cindy's nodding their head there. We've had that conversation before. I mean, they're an expense, right? You know, we charge zoning permit fees, we charge special use permit fees and all that. It doesn't cover everything, but it's close, right? The building department has to operate separately. Building department money has to be kept separate because you can't, you know, they had problems where municipalities were just charging exorbitant things and then shuffling that money into the general fund, and the law specifically prohibits that. Like I said, it supports their retainer, the fees they charge us for inspections, the construction board of appeals, and any costs associated with that, and, you know, any overhead costs that we can directly attribute to it. So, you know, like the BS&A annual fee, and would go into that.
Okay.
And I had to put together a draft budget of what we thought it would be to submit to the state, which I'm truly just guessing on, right? Because I mean, we've had way more activity. The pace of activity we have had since January 1st is substantially more than any report we ever got from the county. Whether the activity is higher or we weren't getting all of the reports back, your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
Because remember, we found permits that all of a sudden showed up, but we were never on our monthly permit list, and, you know, nobody could explain it. So anyway, I mean, we're kind of shooting blank.
So what do we need to do today?
We have to adopt these three agreements. So these would be agreements with AGS for enforcing the.
So once we sign it, and once they sign it, then their insurance papers, $1 million all these insurance papers will be on file with you, right?
Sure. Well, they have to have liability insurance.
Yeah, I know.
In this, but and then we have to approve the employment agreement with NetCAC. And if you read through all of them, they all have 30 days, you know, notice. So if we're not happy with some, you know, we're not stuck into a long-term contract or anything. If we're not happy,
No,
3 days.
and 3 days if he commits a felony. It's 30 days if it's just normally.
Okay, and then on page 2 of the agreement, we gotta tell them billing is not B-I-L-L-L-I-N-G. So on D, we need to do a typo change there on that billing before,
Sure.
I know, I'm just saying, billing,
Oh, yeah.
B-I-L-L-I-N-G.
Yeah, number 7 on the master, on the building official employment agreement says 30 days. And then it's shorter if there's gross negligence. All right, you guys have any other questions? If not, I will make a motion that we approve the 2 agreements between Perry Township and Associated Government Services and the agreement between Perry Township and Nick Keck.
Second.
I'll just add that it needs to be proof, the spelling check before they give us the final document. I'm just saying, we want it correct. All right, so Troy made the motion for all 3 of them, right?
Yep.
Mark, you made the second?
Yep.
Do you want to do them all at the same time?
That was my motion.
Roll call vote.
Mark Frazier,
Yes.
Francis Griffith,
Yes.
Veronica Howard, yes, Roy Farnley,
Yes.
and Mark Foltz.
Yes. Okay. So they'll be there today.
I have them in Word. I will go delete the L so you can
Ah.
sign it right there.
There you go. And I really didn't like English. It just caught my eye. Is there any comments from our group out here? Any comments from the audience?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, what time is it?
Second.
7:53.
Thank you guys for all coming.
Second. Mark second.
Yes.